So it looks like we're live and kicking. I'm just waiting for this other stuff to start. And then, okay, we're live. So good evening and welcome to my first Christmassy artwork of this year. I was planning to start a little bit later, like in December, but then I realized that I have so many different presents that I need to make and different cards that I would better start earlier because they need to be shipped, and you know, post office is a little bit like not well stuffed at the moment, and everybody's ordering stuff. So my idea was that I'm going to make just some simple cards for majority of the people, and for my very dear friends I wanted to make some artwork for them. And this artwork, I'm just double checking that everything is okay. And this artwork I wanted to be like these wreaths, and I have this block which is a arches block, and it's hot press watercolor. Hot press watercolor is really smooth, but it was the perfect size because it's square, so I could do my round wreaths in here. It's not like I've done Christmas wreaths before, so this will be kind of a first for me as well. So welcome. And I would just start with very light sketching, and then I'll do some inking and then some watercoloring, and you know, we'll go from there. It's just like, it's going to take some time. It's probably going to take 2 hours or so. So I hope you are still with me by that time. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is to make a guideline, and I'll just make it in pencil, very lightly. And for that I'm using this famous thing, which is a board plate. And the plate has an interesting story that I'm going to tell you, but we're just gonna turn it around, and I'm gonna use a pencil to draw just a circle. I do not like to use the compass for the circles because it just leaves a hole in the middle. I hate that. I was like, why can't they make compasses that doesn't make any holes in the middle? Anyway, for my sentiment, because it's gonna have a sentiment in the middle, I'm going to hello Mello, hello everybody. I'm going to stamp, because I am very bad at writing. I'm very bad at calligraphy, as in I've never done it before. So what I have here is I have a set from Simons & Stamp, and it has this winter wishes here, which I want to stamp with black ink. And I was actually hoping that I will get my latest Simon Says order, but unfortunately I think it's being delayed. So I'm just gonna do this really quick. I put it on a block, and so the block has feet, so I can stamp correctly. So I'm gonna ink outside of the frame, because, well, you need to be very careful not to smear the ink all around. I'm not gonna do this twice, so I'm not using a misty or anything, because I'm going to just fill it in with a nice marker. So I'm positioning, that's why you have these little feet. I'm positioning, hopefully, yeah, and then I'm just gonna press down, and the moment of truth arrives here. Yeah, I have perfect impression. So this is going to be my sentiment, although it sounds weird, winter wishes, but you know, it's winter. So now let's get started. What did I want to have? I wanted to have some poinsettias. I wanted to have some other flowers that are like star form flowers, and I want to have lots of foliage and pine tree thingies and berries and so on. So I'm just going to lightly sketch where I want my things to be. So my poinsettia will be here. Here's gonna be another flower. Here's gonna be another flower. Maybe I'll have another poinsettia here with a flower here. Maybe one flower here and slightly bigger one here. Okay. I need eraser. I need eraser because I want to erase lines. These are just, they need to be very light. If you add anything on top of these lines, you can never erase them like watercolor. So I'm just gonna sketch lightly the flowers. So poinsettia has, it's a pointy flower, that's why it's called poinsettia, I'm assuming. And it has 5 petals, and then 5 more, and then 5 more. Well, it's a cluster of petals, but the way it starts like this. It's very pointy and nice. So going to erase some more. The good thing about warm hot press watercolor, not warm press, what was I thinking? Warm press, I don't know. Oh, hello Andre, hello Florine, good evening, thank you for coming. We're going to do some watercolor wreaths here. Okay, I'm really going up above the lines. I should not be going above the lines. So poinsettia in the middle, it has some nice yellow stamen. It's pointy, it's okay. I don't particularly like to directly on watercolor paper do the sketching because I have to erase quite a lot, but today it is what it is. I'm going to move my chair a little bit so that we can have the second row of petals for this poinsettia. Okay. And then here is going to be another star form, and this one, it kind of has a star form. Okay, and here's gonna be one that is from the side. It's just light sketching. I'm gonna go with a pen. And then here's again a leaf, and then I'm going to make these poinsettia leaves, and I'm going to make some more leaves here. I'm just focusing for now on this corner because this needs to be filled out. This one also has some nice leaves. Okay, and some more leaves here. Why not? Okay, so that's one corner, and then I'm going to go just with watercolors, filling in all the other ones. Maybe it needs a flower here. Okay, it's gonna be another poinsettia. So somebody was watching my streams and they wanted to see what the sketching process is instead of just seeing either the watercolor or just the inking. So I thought it was a good idea. I'm not sure now, I'm regretting it because this might take a while. My favorite flower is not poinsettia, winter wishes. I wish a lot of snow. I don't think it's gonna snow this year. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna snow. I need, because this is getting boring. You don't actually see what I'm doing here because so I need a 01 and a 03 because I'm just sketching and I'm realizing that the sketch is really too light to be able to see. So I'm just gonna go with the 03 already. So we're gonna go at it. There are two schools of basically watercolor. One of them says that you should not have lining, so you should just have watercolor with no black lines or anything. And you should make depth only with color, with shadows, and you know, that's one of the schools. Another one says, and which is like more like the modern watercolor, it's more forgiving, and basically you can use any combination, any things that are making it let's say mixed media kind of things. I am more an adept of the modern watercolor, and I'm not afraid to use white or anything else, but I can understand that there are some people that do not enjoy that, and that's fine. So this is one of the poinsettias, and now I'm gonna make a leaf, another leaf. I'm doing really simple leaves. These leaves are just going to be super simple. We're not making weird shaped leaves here, like zigzag leaves. So I do not know to which school of watercolor you guys belong to, but I like when I have a combination of awesome lines and color. It maybe also allows me to be much more expressive. But you're gonna see here that because we're drawing pine leaves and other stuff, it's going to become much more interesting how we're able to achieve that. Okay. My last stream, I stopped it really early. And I'm really regretting it because actually only after a while, after like another half an hour, the composition and all the colors look really nice. The problem with watercolors is that it takes quite some time till you can create that depth. And there's a reason for it. It's because watercolors are very transparent and they're not very known to... You need like 10 layers, 20 layers. Very beautiful ornaments. Oh, thank you, Marlena. I tried to make the ornaments. So watercolors are unlike, let's say, gouache or any other things. Gouache will be super easy because even if you make mistakes, you can kind of fix them because you can layer on top of each other. With watercolors, you have to be very careful because you have to go really light and then go darker. If you go too dark in the beginning, you cannot fix it anymore. You cannot lift it. I mean, you could lift it, but that is like super difficult. Okay. And this one, we're gonna make a side one. Okay. And I'm going to need to turn this one around. I hope this doesn't cause any distress to people. Or motion sickness. I sometimes have motion sickness. So anyway, I was going to tell you all about the plate. So the story of the plate. Apparently, that plate is about 40 years old. It belongs to my husband, so he has it for a very long time. And it was since he was very young. He was like 5 years old or something like that. And he liked to eat a lot of fries with appelmoes. And I googled what appelmoes. Appelmoes is a Dutch term. It's like this puree made out of apples, and apparently in other English speaking countries you say just applesauce, and I'm like, applesauce sounds so boring. Apple mousse sounds like super fun. And his mother and the boyfriend of the mother used to take him to a restaurant that was near an airport field in Apeldoorn. Apeldoorn is a city in the Netherlands, if you didn't know. Cool city. I used to go there quite a lot. For now, I just need to erase a lot of the pencil marks. And because he liked it so much, he also liked the plate. And it was this famous restaurant, the Folk, that they used to go. And the boyfriend of his mother stole the plate for him because he really liked the plate. It had a kind of a cockatoo on top, and he really enjoyed that one. And he has this place ever since, like 40 years old. So if I hope that that restaurant no longer exists there, because if it does, then I'm in trouble admitting to theft. Hopefully that's no longer the case. We're gonna add a lot more and foliage, and then I'm going to fill it in. I gonna smeared this one. I should have let it do it. Okay. For now, we just have to start adding color. So this is like our main elements. These are our flowers, our poinsettias, and these are other flowers, also star form flowers, which I really like. So I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm going to start making all sorts of pine cone here with just a brush, and I'm going to add the black details later on. So I'm just gonna add the pine cones and berries and all sorts of other stuff, and then we're gonna add all the rest. But like, this is how it looks like now. And I have a bunch of brushes, and I'm going to start. I'm gonna go bold with the number 6 for the poinsettias. I have my watercolors to the side, and I have a scrap piece of paper that will I will use just to mix up colors. So we're gonna start with the lighter version for the poinsettia, and then we're gonna build depth. Yeah, that's okay. Poinsettias usually are fairly flat flowers. I hate them. I hate them. So I'm going to do my own version of poinsettias because I don't like the real ones. They're super red and just don't have any depth to it. I don't know who created these weird flowers in real life. Who came up with them? But no. So I'm just gonna drop in the color, and this is hot press, so it's gonna behave a bit differently than cold press because it's not gonna have texture. So we just have to add shadows and everything as depth. So the first layer is gonna be a bit lighter, and we're gonna go darker the more in the back we're gonna go. So I am taking a lot of liberties with these poinsettias. Hope you guys don't mind. It's okay if I go a bit outside the lines. I'm gonna have to let it dry, and I'm going to go to the other one here. Fun fact, this is my first ever watercolor brush, like the real one that you buy for 20 euros, not the cheapo brushes, but this is my first ever good brush, and I have it for more than 5 years. Has been with me, and it's a number 6. It's Kolinsky hairs. You know what Kolinsky are? There's these weasels somewhere in Russia. They're called Kolinsky weasels, and they make these brushes out of the weasel hair because it's very springy and nice. So if you didn't know what this Kolinsky means, called saber. A lot of brushes are also made out of special hairs from the tails of like horses. And okay, that's nice. I'm going to do some of these. I'm going to have some nice colors. I'm going to try Potter's pink. So, and I'm going to try Moon Glow for some others. It needs a little bit, not only red. So, okay, I think now I have to switch to a smaller brush, and I'm gonna switch to a number 3. Let's see if that works. Yeah, this is gonna be nice. I'm not doing wet on wet. Makes no sense at the moment to do wet on wet, to be so. This is hot press. When you do hot press and wet on wet, wet on wet on hot press, everything just goes a little bit too light. And I just don't like that. I would do wet on wet when I have cold press watercolor. Because with cold press and you do wet on wet, you get all this really nice structure in it. And that is why. Let's talk a little bit about why I stopped the stream last time. Last stream, I was under the impression that if people would watch longer than 1 hour, they will super get bored. But then I realized that actually watercolors are very often super long videos. Like when I'm doing any piece, don't think usually pieces like big pieces, not like this one, usually take me up to minimum 4 hours, because you have to add depth and you have to add a lot of layers, and you have to wait for it to dry in between layers. And it felt very rushed, and I was thinking I'm always only going to do 1 hour streams. But now I'm realizing that for these parts, and I was seeing some streams from Bailey Lee. She streamed one time like for 10 hours, and I was like, well, there we go. You know, I would say let's just do it. Okay, this turned out really nice. You see what I do as the next layer, because it's not yet dry. I always test with my fingers if it's dry, so like let me see which one is Moon Glow. This is Moon Glow. It's gonna be nice. No, this is not Moon Glow. This is a really dark one. It's not Moon Glow. This probably Indigo. I by mistake did the Indigo. Moon Glow is a Daniel Smith watercolor, and when it dries it has hints of red and blue that is like a purple. So I'm gonna use Moon Glow for these ones. I'm gonna do it darker here, lighter on the other side. You see what happens? I went way too heavy with this one. I went way too heavy. But it's okay. Saves me from adding extra layers. I'm cleaning up my brush and dragging the color, making sure I don't have way too much water here. The problem with hot press, which I like hot press because has no structure. The problem with it, the water and everything gets absorbed super fast. So it has advantages and disadvantages. Luckily, this is the good hot press type, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, gonna add some color. And now I went way lighter. We're gonna darken up this color. It's gonna be nice. How has been the weekend so far for all of you? That's what I want to know. Because for me, it was interesting. Yesterday, I played a lot of games, a lot of World of Warcraft. I got a little bit more inspiration, so that's good. And now, let's just try. And let's see if we can manage to do this. Poinsettias have this special stem and these veins. So I'm trying now to leave the white in between. And add more color. Victor, weekend is good, thank you. Thank you, Victor. And are you all waiting for tomorrow? For work? Oh no, I put way too much color. I'm hoping you are. Let's try even a smaller brush than this, see what happens. Because next week is gonna be a very busy week for me. I'm not saying that this week wasn't. This week was as well. I was incident manager on the website. And as always, things don't go as planned. And you have to be called in the middle of the night and make sure that, you know, incidents are being handled correctly. So I for one cannot wait for the next week to come, because then I will no longer be incident manager. So that's nice. All the other stuff can wait. I realized I didn't take that much holiday this year, and it's sometimes not handy, because I was used to having some holidays and I was used to relaxing a lot more, but now with the situation that we have, I didn't do that anymore. So I'm trying really hard to relax during the weekend, and this is part of the relaxation. Just painting, basically. Poinsettias have these weird veins that run through them, so I'm trying to draw them in. Maybe I shouldn't have bothered, but it will look nice at the end. It just takes a little bit longer than normal. So I have this this thing with the Christmas. I used to start preparing Christmas presents in when I was younger, since August, because I knew that I had to put money aside for all the Christmas presents I wanted to buy, and I had a certain allowance per day from my mom, and that allowance was supposed to, you know, be for food. But I was calculating what I can buy with it. So I used to put money aside, and I would make the plan. Like in August, I would have the plan, what presents, you know, what does my mom get, my dad, my brother, everybody else. And I used to prepare really ahead of time because I had to put money aside. Or prepare. I used to also do this plays. I used to make puppets out of strings, and I used to make this plays with like Jesus and, you know, Christmas kind of plays. And I used to do that for my family. They used to come and watch my plays on Christmas, which is really nice. And I really enjoyed that part. Nowadays, I don't do that anymore, of course. I do miss the fun of preparing for Christmas, the fun of preparing for thinking about presents and all that stuff. Okay, it's gonna make sense later on. I'm going to do something similar for this other flower, and I have to really turn it around. So I was just on Amazon the whole day trying to figure out what Christmas stuff I'm going to take. I'm gonna buy. I cannot have a Christmas tree anymore because my kids are eating the Christmas tree, and my kids are my cats. And I had a plastic Christmas tree, and that plastic Christmas tree seems to be very yummy for some reason. Like, all these flowers are also fake because they are not cats are very sensitive to eating all sorts of plants. So I just bought fake flowers, but for some reason these ones, they don't like to chew on. But a Christmas tree, don't know what's up with that. They're just munching on it. So I had to hide it away. So I can't have a Christmas tree. I'll maybe decorate this one with some decorations just to get into the Christmas spirit. And as always with the tradition in our household, Christmas means lots of food, lots of cookies, lots of eating, and one big series of binge watching. And this year we've decided that we're gonna binge watch the entire MCU, which is the Marvel series, and we're gonna do it in the chronological order, as in how it happened, not how they got released. So that's gonna be fun. We have quite some days free there with the Christmas, so I'm just going to enjoy my holiday. So what is a normal tradition for all of you on Christmas? because this is our tradition. Oh yeah, and as for food, the tradition is that we make this barbecue on the hot grill. We have an electric hot grill, and we buy meats and vegetables and stuff, and we watch movies and we grill stuff on the barbecue. So this is kind of like the Christmas tradition here. I'm not sure what other traditions there are in your households, but for us, this is what we do. It might be actually a Dutch tradition, this thingy with the grill. So I'm not sure. It just might be. Yeah. Or it just might be the household. I married into the tradition. Let's put it this way. Which is very nice. Depending on the lockdown measures, we're going to have our mother-in-law come or not. My mother cannot come because she would have to travel with the plane, so she can't be here for Christmas. But maybe next year we'll get more lucky, and then we can be there. Okay, this was the hardest part and the one that will take the most time. Let me have some more of these. These are really nice wintry colors, and it's like a really cool color. You know, warmth and cool. Okay, I'm gonna add more depth of color, but for now I need to see. Okay, number 3. Yeah, I'm going to do the green, and I'm going to start making my way around and adding more and more stuff. So what green should we do? I'm going to start with olive green, and I'm going to make a big puddle here so I can do this. And I'm going to have also this other green, which is May green. It's like a neon kind of green. Small puddle. I need Hooker's green. Okay, this is a funny name, Hooker's green. I always thought whoever decided to name their green Hooker's green. This is so funny. Must be some artist on high while they were. Okay, I'm making my puddles now. So we're just going to start with this one. And I'm gonna add green. Then we're gonna go to the pine trees. So I'm trying not to do same leaves next to each other. Okay, and then I'm adding a little bit more of this green, which is the Hooker's green, just to create depth. I wonder how many hours we're gonna have this live stream. Until when will I be satisfied with the color combinations? I'm just like, I'm counting. I'm counting. We are already 44 minutes in. I have a feeling I'm gonna be here till 10 o'clock. So this is gonna be one of those live streams that go like, it went on and on and on, and she wouldn't shut up and she wouldn't finish. Okay. Of course, if you do the other type of literally the other type of watercolor, the one that you're not gonna have the black lines and so on. It tends to be faster, and it tends to be faster for different reasons than you might think. It's because you don't have to be very precise. You don't have to be precise about anything. You just have to basically give the impression, the illusion of a shape. So that other type is very fast. But I do not like messy things. You will see me because I do not like paint splatter. Like a lot of people do paint splatters. When they have a watercolor piece, it seems to be mandatory, this paint splattering style. And I'm always a little bit more like, I just hate it. I cannot get used to it. I cannot have paint splattering because it's messy for me. Probably my obsessive compulsive personality disorder, but it can be very messy. So I just don't do it. Hence why things take longer for me. But that's okay. We're all friends here. And for those of you that watch later on, you're in for a long ride here, I'm thinking. Just pre-warning you all. Okay, dropping in some extra color here. I'm going over the lines. Can you imagine? I'm like already all shaky and stuff. I'm going to have even the darker one. Darker one here. Dark here. Yeah. You get some nice transition of color. Let me try this other green here. Why not? Da-da-da. Mellow. I have a tradition to eat some olive oil and kind of round donuts. Oh, we know of that tradition. So olive oil are like these, well, they're the best donuts in the world. Let's just agree on something here. There are no other donuts that are better than olive oil. Trust me, I've tried a lot of them. I know what I'm talking about. And these olive oil are my only nemesis. So every time I say I'm going to go and I'm going to have a diet and I'm going to lose some weight, and then there's olive oil season. And for some reason I can never resist olive oil, ever. Like I have to physically not go to the market so I don't have to buy them because they're so good. And every time I see the olive oil stand, I'm like, ooh, I just need to be there. Dropping some color, doing some stuff. It's already looking really nice. And with the pine cone tree stuff, it's going to look really even nicer. gonna have some character. Okay. I am getting messages as well. But I'm not going to answer any of them because I am in the middle of a stream. So this is what happens when you're in the middle of a stream. I still haven't figured out how to get more people during a live stream. I guess I need a little bit more followers than normal. So whenever I'm gonna figure that one out, then maybe we can have more people during live stream. It's gonna be more cozy, more interesting. And I promised today that I will not look at the clock. I will not look at the clock, and I will not try to end the stream early or anything like that. Because I just want it to look nice the way I want it to look nice. So just gonna do that. Makes no sense to end the stream early. So I was watching a YouTube video the other day. It was from Chloe Rose. I don't know if anybody is following her, but she had this YouTube video where she did a 10-hour painting, 1 hour and just like 10 minutes, something like that, or 8 hour, 1 hour and 10 minutes. And one of the things I took out of that is that indeed to make a piece that I will always be satisfied with, I have to actually spend quite some time doing it, because all these layers and all these details needs to be added. And she was right that for a YouTuber, it makes no sense to spend that much time. First of all, because usually you don't even see on the camera the details that I'm adding, or why am I going over some areas and smoothing them out. You wouldn't be able to know why, because I am the only one that sees that level of detail there. And I'm the only one that goes like, okay, this needs to really blend smoothly. I'm just gonna go for it. What color should this one be? I think it should be the same color as this one, the Moon Glow. Yeah. Because if you think about it, when you film for YouTube, if you have 1 hour of footage, it usually takes you about 4 hours to edit, add voiceover, add all the other things like music, deciding, and so on. I think I need to just push a bit more down. And if you're going to spend all the time 8 hours, really 8 hours on also filming, it's going to take exponentially longer to actually come up with a video. So if you're one of the YouTubers that needs to post at least every, like, the recommended posting times are really tricky, because they say you should do it as much as possible. But assuming that you want to have 3 videos per week, then the amount of time it takes you to do those 3 videos is longer than I think a full-time 8-hour job just to make 3 videos a week. And I don't think the intent is like we need to entertain, and this is where I struggle with, because I enjoy the process and I enjoy making pieces that I love, but now I'm also realizing that actually to be successful you just need to sometimes push out content. And yeah, we sometimes need to marry the two. I don't know how to express it, but we need to really come up with a middle ground so that we still have time to do other things other than just editing. I haven't figured out the solution, and I'm still too much of a perfectionist to actually have this. Okay, I'm gonna need to go darker here, and I'm gonna use the same color but bigger concentration, and I'm hoping it's gonna show that it's darker. No, I need to darken it a bit more. Let's see if I got the correct. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. So I have this perfectionist for a long time, that everything needs to be perfect and nice. And now I need to consider whether that still is the best course of action and the best way to go forward. Maybe it is, and maybe I need to lower the expectations of myself. Maybe I don't need to do one piece every few days, right? Maybe the expectation should be that I do a piece every week, and then I can do my long-running things. But if I wanna really get more people watching, I need to do more content, and this is where the two kind of clash. I'm using directly ink from the pen just to add a little more contrast here. I'm gonna add details with black. You should rest assured this is going to be really nice. I like the build up. Yeah, they look really cool. What brand of watercolors do you like to use? Okay, I like to use Schmincke and Daniel Smith. So I have a combination on my palette. Majority of times is Schmincke. The problem I have with Schmincke is that it does not have a lot of colors, and Daniel Smith has about 320. What I noticed is that they're both very similar in composition. Schmincke is a bit more transparent than Daniel Smith. So with Daniel Smith, you can get a little bit more depth of color faster. Daniel Smith also has a really nice line of granulating watercolors, and with those granulating watercolors, you can add really lots of depth and lots of texture, which is nice. Schmincke only now, I think this year, it introduced their own granulating ones. I didn't buy them yet. They can be very expensive, so you know, I have to watch my wallet, but I was planning to. I like Schmincke because they're really pure and they're really transparent. I like Daniel Smith because they have so many colors that you can choose from. That is amazing. What I did read is that watercolors, they are made, for example, Schmincke are German watercolors. And what they're saying is that these watercolors are made also with in mind the climate. So where are you using them? Is it dry or is it more humid? And this is something that you should have a look at, because I particularly think that my climate here is pretty humid, so things do take a bit longer to actually dry up, right? You have to wait longer. So it depends. Like if you would have the granulating ones from Daniel Smith in this climate where it's more humid because it kind of rains all the time, what you might have is it granulates too much, or you might need to speed things up with your hair dryer or your heat tool. Whereas Schmincke, okay, they also didn't have granulating ones, but Schmincke kind of can, the formulation is that it dries faster. So you always have to think about these factors when you're buying. Like, they test the watercolors. I mean, if they're made in Germany, they test it under like Germany climate, right? And they make all these tests and the light fastness and all that stuff of your pieces are just taking into account purely that. And Daniel Smith are made in America, and although the pigments and everything are really nice, the binder really makes it behave differently. So I like both of them, and I use them interchangeably. I have on my palette both of them, and I never look at, oh, now I'm gonna use Schmincke or now I'm gonna use the other ones. I never look at it this way. I just look at the color. Yeah. So now I think I've added a lot of depth. I'm going to add some more, don't worry, but we need to start making all sorts of tiny things here. So I'm going to use my, oh, this is actually a number 0. I don't know if you guys ever used the number 0 before, but I'm going to use it. And I'm going to start using burnt umber, and I'm using burnt umber for this part where you have to okay. And now I'm gonna use 2 different colors. Let me make some more color puddles. So it's not a matter of liking, it's a matter of what works for you. I saw people using like the really cheap watercolors, like the Prank or the Crayola, and making like really awesome artworks. And I think for me, those cheap watercolors don't really work in this climate because it takes too long for them to dry, and then they create this blooming effect. So for me, it's way too much trouble with the cheap watercolors. So I don't use them that much. I have lots of nice ones, but yeah, I learned that you really need to have a look at what you're doing. So now I'm going to do this pine tree. Okay, it's not the color I was expecting. So I'm gonna do lots of let me make some more lighter version. I'm gonna add more afterwards. I'm gonna do this one. I hope that explains. Okay, I might not be right? So don't take my word as the final word there is on the matter. It's just my observation of these colors. It could be also different factors, right? It could be also skill involved. You never know. So I am trying not to think that my skill has anything to do. Maybe in a few years I will be able to do this really better with any type of watercolors. So who knows? Just like with inking, right? I guess. In my initial sketch, I actually did all of this much smaller, and I actually had space to add like some bells all around. So I'll try to add them. I'm not sure if I'm going to succeed, but I'm using different colors of green for this, and this is going to be some pine. They're not going to be that many pine. When it's going to dry, I'm going to add another layer on top. Okay, where should I add? Maybe here, one. No, not that one, no. I can add much more. I did notice that nowadays gouache has become much more popular. And gouache differs from watercolor that it's much more opaque. But initially gouache was used purely for fashion illustrations, which is very interesting. Because the fashion illustrations weren't supposed to be long-lasting. And with the point with gouache, although they're opaque and all that, is that they're not very light fast. So an artwork made in gouache is not gonna last you a long time. But I can understand now with the advent of prints that anyway you're gonna have a print, so any person can do a gouache artwork which looks very nice. You're gonna scan it in and it's going to be really awesome looking. And with watercolor, the more expensive ones like Schmincke or Daniel Smith watercolors, they're very light fast. So an artwork made with these watercolors might actually last you quite a bit, which is very interesting. So if you buy an original, they say that some watercolors can last, you know, 100 years or more. It's not like acrylic. Acrylic is not lasting you. Acryls will last you like hundreds and hundreds of years. Oil, it's probably going to last you even longer. I mean, there's oil paintings since 1,000 years ago, more than 1,000 years ago. So those ones last way longer. But we don't, I don't think we have watercolors that lasted for that long. I did read about this famous lady that did some famous watercolors, but that was like 100 years ago, so I'm not very sure. Okay, what we need to do is pine cones have these small little things that are more like purple, and they're like the pine cone seeds kind of. So I'm just gonna add them, small purple dots. More like dusty purple, but let's see what we can do. Do the brand you use work well on all sorts of watercolor papers? Actually, no. So what I learned, and I learned this the hard way, is that you can have the nicest watercolors, like the most expensive watercolors, like Daniel Smith or any. There's some that are very expensive, like hundreds of euros. But if you don't have a good watercolor paper, and by good watercolor paper I mean 100% cotton, you're gonna struggle. So if you are just starting or you want to get into watercolors, my advice, if you have a good watercolor paper like 100% cotton, and nowadays you can even buy the Etcher Labs, they have a sketchbook that is 100% cotton. I really recommend that one. It's amazing paper. I will maybe do a review on that one. Use that one, and then buy cheap watercolors, like really cheap, like the koi, the Sakura koi. Those are cheap, like 20 euros or something. They work very well on the paper. But if you're just starting or not, you can have the best watercolors, you will have a bit lesser than cheaper watercolors on bad paper. Still, you will struggle, and you're not gonna get really nice results because you're gonna struggle and you're gonna be frustrated, and then you might be actually even quitting watercoloring because of it. Like, for example, if you want to do wet in wet on really bad paper, no matter how good watercolor is, you're gonna have blooms and weird stuff. And of course, if you that's what you're going for that type of interesting effect, you know, by all means go for it. But wow, for me, no. I almost gave up watercolors because I started painting. I had the Moleskine watercolor notebook, and you know, I always had Moleskine for my other parts, for my ink drawings, and it was perfect. But for watercolors, really bad, and I got really frustrated because I wanted to do these wet and wet techniques and all this cool, like, let's draw a forest and so on, and it really didn't work because I also had cheap watercolors, cheap paper. Then I started buying the expensive watercolors, still didn't work, and I was like, I'm paying so much money for this. Like, it's amazing. I'm going to add more when the time comes. Now I'm gonna add lots of berries and other stuff here. Let's do that. Let's see, what should we use? Should we use permanent alizarin crimson? No. Let's say cadmium red light for the berries. Yeah. It's 2017. So, yeah. I tried many different papers. I tried even Fabriano, the one that has only 20% cotton and the other parts. What I noticed is that the cellulose paper is really shitty. I had Canson cellulose paper. I had Hanemule cellulose paper. What worked for me is really the 100% cotton. And I know they're more expensive, so it is what it is. Everybody needs to think how much they're willing to spend on things. So I'm just gonna make berries. The worst watercolor sketchbook I had was the Hanemule. Sorry, I really love their 100% cotton paper. It's really textured. It's awesome. But man, the sketchbook was terrible. Would not recommend it to anybody. So yeah, this is what I like. I like arches a lot, but lately so arches is really nice. It's really textured, but I enjoy a little bit more nowadays. I enjoy Fabriano cold press because 100% cotton, not the normal one. And why do I enjoy the one? Okay, I need to have it way lighter so I can add. Fabriano is less textured, so when you scan things in, because I want to make prints, then it makes more sense. If you wanna do things. Okay, those are nice berries. I'm gonna add extra darker spots in there and some lights. Where do I add more berries? Here, they need some more berries on this side. try to vary the maybe I'll do some purple berries as well. I really like this purple in the trees, so I'll do that. Where was I? Oh yeah, watercolor paper. You know what worked well with Canson? Surprisingly, the markers. Like, I don't know if any of you have like the Tim Holtz markers, the distress ink markers, if you have them. Curious, what are you using now? Now I'm using Archie's watercolor paper, but hot press. So I'm going to do something that I should never do because it's going to be... So this is how it looks like. It is the pink version, and it's 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. And I only chose this one because I need to get used to coloring on hot press. And hot press has no tooth. Hot press is really cool because everything goes really smooth here. So I'm using hot press today, and I'm quite enjoying it. You need to be more careful with cold press. You can fix more mistakes, to be honest. Cold press is more forgiving than hot press. On hot press, it's sometimes hard to fix mistakes. So, and it's weird because like it's still 100% cotton, but yeah. Okay. Where do you guys think I should add more? I think somewhere here, right? In this corner, I think we need a little more of the red. So behind me there, I have one full row with only watercolor papers, and those are my good watercolor papers. They are a lot of Arches. I have Fabriano. I have also some Saunders, Saunders and Sennelier. And I was actually doing a test with all of them to see which ones I like the most. Turns out that I still like a lot my favorite one is Fabriano, and then Arches comes very close by. And I'm going to use this weird with one. Saunders one is really luscious. I'm hoarding it, to be honest. It's really good. It's a British one. I'm doing some different pine. This is the pine one. Don't know if you guys knew this. And it's more creamy and much more nicer. I'm considering if I should use it more, but I'm such a hoarder. I'm hoarding watercolor papers. Okay, I think I need to add some more purple berries everywhere. Yeah, purple berries. Why not? Is purple a Christmassy color? That's what I want to know. Is purple Christmassy color? Like, I don't know. Why wouldn't purple be Christmassy color? We make our own Christmas, right? Why not? And here I need some more red ones. Who says red should be and green should be the only ones for Christmas? We're officially almost 1.5 hours in, which is really nice. We're still not done. I will need to add way more leaves around, right? So I'm going to try to see. No, first I'm gonna add details here with more darker color, and then I'm just gonna fill in with more leaves, different color leaves, and here as well. Like it needs way more leaves here and here. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Darker green. Which darker green? Perlin green sounds like a nice dark green to add more stuff. So, why am I not using markers? More like the watercolor markers, because I like to have my watercolors be framed in, and I had things made with markers, and they didn't last long, unfortunately. I know some people on other streams were telling about that maybe I'm doing something wrong or I'm using the wrong paper or something, but I doubt it because I'm using the artist paper. Don't get me wrong, it's not like it disappeared in a month or so. It actually took about a year. And no, it wasn't sitting in any direct sunlight or anything. It just fades. So I would do that for a card because I know that people anyway would throw away their cards. So a card doesn't have to last long. So I would use then markers. The advantage of markers is the colors are really, really vibrant, and you can get such beautiful blending, much more precise with markers, much more. So I enjoy. I have the Tim Holtz markers, I think, and the Zig. Both of them really nice colors. I would recommend, but don't expect your artwork to last you very long. Okay, I think I've done those parts, and now we can go in and fill in some more leaves. It's gonna be some interesting leaves. Why not? This is a really nice color. I'm not gonna do the leaves with necessarily green. Just saying. I mixed rose doré with buff titanium, and I got a really pinkish one. So I really need to turn this one around, unfortunately. Let me see. So the way I do a leaf is I go in and then I press the belly of the one, and then I have this one like this. I will do the outline later on. These are nice leaves. Of course I'm gonna do some more green ones, don't worry. I'm just trying to fill things in. Now let's use some green to just add some more. Yeah, they look nice. Not everything needs to necessarily overlap. Once they dry, I'm going to go over them. Just going to be some tiny. That's gonna look nice. Okay. Maybe not the best idea to have used such a big brush. I'm not yet used to it. But anyway, okay. Now, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna use the darkest green we have to add lots of stuff to the leaves. So this leaf comes like this. We're gonna add some spots on the leaves. Why not? It's gonna look nice. And this can be super therapeutic, what I'm doing here, because this is the way I'm deciding I'm going to spend my evening. And I thought that I'm going to spend my evening anyway coloring. Makes no sense why I shouldn't do a live stream. Like, why wouldn't I? Adding some more color to that leaf. It's gonna be nice. One thing to note, you need to be very careful with hot press. Sometimes it bleeds. depending how you going to do things. And then the ends look very frayed sometimes, so it doesn't necessarily have. Okay. I'm gonna add more red to the red stuff and more depth to different leaves. Okay, more red to the berries, at least to the sides of the berries. Has to be more red. And more brown on certain things. This one. I'm gonna use some more stuff. What are the questions? Very nice. Kisses. Oh, thank you. I even get kisses now. I must be doing something right if I'm getting kisses. But no, seriously, that's my mom. My mom likes it. If my mom likes what I'm doing, I'm happy, because then she's gonna be happy. She's gonna not be alone, spending her time alone. She's gonna watch me and she likes it, so I'm happy. The rest of you people, I love you a lot, all that stuff, but if you don't like it, unfortunately my mom takes precedence. So that's that's the reality of it. I'm not gonna lie to you or anything. So let's deepen the color of the flowers here. Tick, 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 tick. It's gonna be nice. And then I'm going to make some small blemishes on the flowers as well. Why not? So this color is Potter's Pink. It's my favorite pink in the whole wide world. There's no other pink like it. You see that I'm a pink person, so I'm doing pink. Okay. It's good that I didn't preface this video with the word easy, because easy watercolor wreath. I saw many easy watercolor tutorials online. I wasn't sure how easy it really is, to be honest. For me, this is it's easy. Don't get me wrong, it's easy, just takes time. So would you consider things easy if they take more time? What's your definition then of easy? Uh-oh, I broke my brush. Is the definition of easy, it's easy when it takes lesser time? Or would it be easy when it actually takes as much as this one took? But still, everything here we have. So What I wanted to add is I wanted to add the black pencil everywhere, and I have a lot more details and a lot more fancy stuff in the leaves. And then I wanted to come with some gold and add details with gold and add some gold leaves all around. So this is how I am planning to finalize it. Oh no, I forgot that I needed to add some more stuff. These all look cool. I don't think what you make is easy. Really? I don't know. I think everybody can do this in the end. But I think that it just takes a lot of time. And that's why maybe people think it's not easy. Because it does take time. Okay. Let's see if I can have this color here. I like these embellishments on everything. Yeah, and they look nice. So now the question is, out of my friends that are watching now, who wants this piece? Who feels emotional attachment to it? Is it Florin? Or Victor or Andre? Or other persons? Because of course I'm gonna do more. I'm going to do more fancy one next time. Next time I'll just have I'll just do the coloring maybe. Okay. You notice I don't do splatter. I don't do splatter because I hate splatters, and I'm just doing these blemishes, which are much more controlled because I can control them. Nobody else can control them. And I enjoy much more to do this than the splatter. Okay, now I'm gonna go back with the Micron pens. I'm gonna go with a 03, and we're just gonna add lots of detail. I need to be careful because I don't think it's all dry. So let's see. On the berries, I'm not gonna draw. I'm gonna draw more interrupted lines. Just having the illusion of a border. Yeah, that's good. Let's see. So you can see the illustrative style firsthand. with me. Florin is the first one, me. With a signature. I promise I'm not gonna sell it on eBay. Do you think it will sell on eBay though? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I should try to sell stuff on eBay as well. Maybe I'm lucky and somebody wants to pay lots of money for my original one. Okay, then it's sold to Florin. You are the first one to call dibs on it, so you know, just gonna do it. Okay. So I don't have to be super precise afterwards. I actually like it more unprecise. Okay. So winter wishes. Let's make this one like really black. I have this special pen, which is a kuretake. And I'm going to add black on top of it because it needs to be way more black. If you would have used the Misty, you could have stamped this way. I need a 01 for lines. So next Wednesday, I'm going to do another live stream. It's gonna be similar Christmassy stuff that I'm going to do. And maybe another wreath. And with another sentiment. And I'll just sketch it in advance so that I don't mess up with the sizing of it all. And I can actually have some like bells and maybe a ribbon somewhere. That'll be cool. And then we're gonna do our next Christmassy stuff. Let's add veins to these leaves. I'm only adding veins to the tiny leaves. And then I'm going to go with the gold or with the white gel pen. Yeah, it's still here. We are officially 10 minutes before 2 hours. Not that it matters, because we're gonna stay here until we finish. Mwahaha. And it's gonna be nice. I'm actually considering on switching fully maybe to just live streaming. I do believe that editing videos takes me a long time, and I'm not sure if I should be spending that time instead of spending time just creating. This way I can actually do more live streams, more fun stuff. That will be a lot more. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is deepen all the leaves with a lot more deeper color. I'm gonna go exactly here where all of this one meets here and then blend it out. This will make it like really nice, really shadows deepen. So what do you guys think? Okay, Florine says it will sell. What do you guys think? Should I just switch to primarily live streaming? Would that actually be? Or maybe I should switch to vlogging, because vlogging will be maybe easier to edit, and then do a lot more live streaming. Because I quite enjoy live streaming. And maybe that's what I need to do. Uh-oh. Too much water. What say you, my audience? More live streaming? More vlogging? Not that I've done any vlogging so far, but I was planning to do some vlogging. That might be actually easier to do. Okay. Florine votes for live stream. Okay, that's a good vote. Thank you. And you're not saying that just because you're gonna receive this artwork, right? Yeah, I think we should move. I still have quite some videos that I filmed long ago, which I would like to post. But then, starting probably mid-December, we're gonna move into more live streams and more vlogging than this. Okay. Wow, this is starting to look really nice. And now we're going to add some accents and some stuff with this. Let me see. This is just a gel pen, and I'm adding accents. And this gel pen is copper, actually. I really like copper. Just gonna add some more accents. Why not? It can never be enough accents. I'm gonna add also here. Let me see how that works. That works pretty well. Nice. Okay. White. This is what I told in the beginning about mixed media, right? I'm really adding highlights now in all of my flowers with a white gel pen. I'm just gonna make them really nice. And really pop. Maybe I'll do even live streaming of the gaming I'm doing. That will be fun. So you can see me fail at questing. In games I like mostly to go and pick my flowers and just have fun. I'm not a very big raider or anything. Okay. Okay, this looks really nice. I'm hoping everybody can see it. Yeah. And I believe this is the stream for tonight. This piece turned out really nice. Maybe the colors on the stream itself are not looking all those nice. I was really proud of all my my setup here, but anyway, this is what I think would be nice as a winter present for your friends. At least they know that you spent some time on it, and they can appreciate. Like I always say, for friends, doesn't matter, it's not perfect. It matters that you've spent time and you had fun doing it, right? I managed to smear some stuff here, doesn't matter. This is like my first present out of many that I need to do. So stick around, there's gonna be more live streams, more different wreaths and different styles and different colors maybe. I'll try maybe different flowers as well, yeah, for winter. Hopefully everything looks okay and nice. Oh, thank you, Olivia. Wow. Yes, I look fab. I try to do makeup and I'm still learning how to do makeup, so these are how kind of how it looks like. What else did I want to do? Did I want to do anything else? No, I didn't want to do anything else. This is kind of it for tonight's stream. It's officially more than 2 hours. Really 2 hours. Has been a blast. I really enjoyed doing this, so I got a lot of energy for tomorrow and for the next week. And this is how I do it. Like, I work full-time, 8 hours a day. I really need something to hold me together, especially in these times. And my job is completely different from what I'm doing here, and I'm really liking the fact that I can take some time and I can have fun and I can just paint and then forget about work, forget about problems, forget about everything else, because I know it's going to be a hard week. So if you are ever struggling with that, I would advise that you pick up a craft. It doesn't have to be watercolor. This can get really expensive, watercolor, I would say. But just inking or just coloring, like adult coloring books, really awesome. So you can just go at it and have some fun. One last thing before I go. I think I need to sign this. So we're still in 2020, right? So I'm going to sign this one here. 2020. Okay, it's signed. So Florine, it's going to be on your way. Okay. So far, thank you so much for watching. I see you guys next time whenever you have the time to watch me. I usually nowadays live stream on Wednesdays and on Sundays, and Monday, Friday it's just the normal videos, but I'm going to do some switcheroos mid-December. But until then, Wednesdays and Sundays live streaming, and I'm just gonna take my time. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So yes, with signature, please. Okay, Florine. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do it with signature. So if there's no more questions, thank you so much for watching, and I see you guys next time. Yeah. I'm going to now switch to my computer and stop the streaming. See ya.